Good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the August 26, 2021 Code Enforcement Board meeting of Seminole County. Appreciate your all's attendance here today. We're going to start the meeting with the roll call by Madam Clerk.
Rob Wolfram. Mike Bass.
Here.
Dudley Bates.
Here.
Ellen Patton.
Here.
Don Peterson. Dennis Warren.
Here.
Jane Haynes.
Here.
And Whit Brown. Here.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a Pledge of Allegiance, which will stand for, and if you are here as a respondent or to testify in some manner, please remain standing after we do the pledge. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth? Thank you.
Again, thank you for your attendance. We're going to take these cases in the order they are on your agenda. I'm going to recommend to the board here that's going to hear your cases that we revise that agenda slightly to take into consideration anyone who's present today and take those first. So I'd be seeking a motion to revise the agenda beginning with case number 20-10 CEB, which can be found on page 2, followed by 2145 CEB, which can be found on page 5, followed by case number 2148 CEB on page 7, case 21-52 and 21-53 CEB on page 9, and case number 21-54 CEB, which you can find on page 10. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda in that order?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bates, second by Ms. Hames. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to start in that order. The way it works, if you have not been here before, we will call your case up. If you're a respondent, please come to this table right here, one or two of you, and have a seat. And I may ask for a little information, whether or not you've been sworn in and what your relationship is to the case. The code enforcement officer will then present the case to us. We'll give you the opportunity to speak to that violation. If there's more than one violation, we will also allow you to speak to those when I tell you the time is right to speak to those. Please present your information to the board here. They'll be the ones making the decision today. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started with number 1 on the agenda, which is case number 20-10 CEB, Michael Diaz, 572 Fordham Avenue, Altamont Springs, 32714. If you're a respondent, please step up to the table, be seated, and then tell me your name, please.
Michael Diaz.
Thank you. Officer Hill, this is your case whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Officer Hill, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. I am submitting a copy of this PowerPoint to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2010 CEB Michael Diaz, located at 572 Fordham Avenue, Seminole County. This is a repeat violation. Violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3F, stagnant pool. My initial inspection was July 30th, 2018. The code board order was January 23rd, 2020. Compliance date by the order was February 14th, 2020. The repeat violation was observed on May 10th, 2021, with multiple follow-up inspections and the posting on August 12th, 2021. The results of my inspection is a stagnant pool violation has been removed from the subject property. The next photos are just going to be from when the case was initially opened, so we can just go through the photos till we get to this year. In February 2020, Mr. Diaz did come into compliance when I posted the property on May 10th, 2021. This is when I observed that the pool was stagnant again for the repeat violation. These photos were taken on May 26, 2021. The These photos were taken on August 11, 2021, when I posted the property, and the pool is no longer in violation. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2010, CEB has determined that the respondent, Michael Diaz, is the owner of record located at 572 Fordham Avenue in Seminole County, in possession and control of the property, and was in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3F. It is further recommended the Code Enforcement Board, based on the findings of fact, conclusions of law and order issued on January 23, 2020, the Code Enforcement Board issue an order finding compliance and imposing a lien or fine on a repeat violation in the amount of $5,500 for 22 days of repeat violation from May 10, 2021 through and including May 31, 2021. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hill? Seeing none, Mr. Diaz, this is your opportunity to speak on behalf of this case.
I have nothing to say.
Okay.
If the board is interested, I do have administrative costs. If they want to reduce or waive the lien, the administrative cost is $74.15. And that's for the sheriff's office cost.
We know the clerks.
Clerk's cost is $72.10.
And do you have the total? Did you have a total of that? Or?
$146.25.
We've been provided with the administrative cost, which, due to the fact it's in compliance, might be considered here. I will say I'm a little concerned this is a repeat violation, and you offer nothing for why we're here again today, and I will also caution you on repeat violations. The fine can be increased to what it currently is, up from that to, I believe, $500 a day. That's things that could happen here. So if anybody has any questions, or if not, has a motion, or Mr. Bass.
Have a motion that we impose a fine of lien of $5,500 on the property as recommended by Officer Hill.
Second.
Motion that we accept staff's recommendation as presented, imposing a lien of $5,500 to be paid by
Within 30 days.
within 30 days.
I won't have $5,000 in 30 days.
How much time do you need?
$5,000, about 2 years. I paid the first lien you put on my home with my tax return, so the $5,000 would roughly be 2 tax returns.
And I understand that, and this board's here to hear whatever you have to offer on this, which has been extended to you, and I'll open that floor again to you. When these violations repeat themselves, it becomes a concern, and then things happen, and that's why we're here today. Be interested to know, why did it repeat itself? Anything you have to offer?
Yes, I've already made my position clear that it was a misunderstanding because the pool individual that was working with the officer here said that as long as the pool is maintained as far as as it's treated while I was working with the pool company to get it redone or try to get it done, that would resolve it. Turns out it wasn't, so now the pool is empty and it stays empty every single day. So it was a misunderstanding, and since then, it has been empty every single day once night falls. It's empty every single day. So
Officer Hill,
that's
you have
exactly what I plan on doing every single day from now on until I get it fixed. So
Officer Hill, you have anything to add as to any misunderstanding?
So the pool company was treating the pool. They had pulled the plugs so the water could drain, and they were treating it with chemicals because he was going to be under contract to get the pool pump fixed. Mr. Diaz did not follow through with that, so the pool company contacted me to let me know they would be putting the plug back in, and there would be no pool pump running, and the water would become stagnant again. And so that's where we're at this point. I would never say that just keep treating the water, because that doesn't solve the problem.
Does keeping the pool empty solve to bring him into compliance?
So he has been very diligent about keeping it empty. Some of the suggestions that I've given to other property owners is obviously get your pool pump fixed, but also to tarp it, professionally tarped, screwed down in the pool deck, which would prevent rainwater from coming back in and making the pool stagnant. Or other options are people have filled in their pools too as well if they just don't want to have that finance burden.
I guess my question is, just keeping it empty without a tarp is not compliance.
Technically, the water has been removed, it is compliance, but it doesn't fix the underlying problem, so we would have another repeat violation, possibly.
The violation is stagnant water, so if there's no water in the pool, how is that not resolving the violation?
You would have to constantly keep draining it. The pool pump is not operable.
So if I keep constantly draining it,
As long as you have no stagnant water in it, you're in
well, I
compliance.
have evidence that every single
Oh, I
day
know.
when I go to sleep, it's empty. No matter what happens with our weather, I have evidence that every single day since our last meeting, it has been empty. So
Correct, and you are
that
in
solves the problem.
compliance.
So therefore, there is no code violation as of,
I brought that up just because I want you to understand that there's a potential for continued repeat as long as it's empty and open. The tarp would assure that there would potentially not be a future repeat violation. That's the only reason I asked the question.
right. The tarp is not a valid fix either. A simple Google search and start talking to individuals will let you know that in order for a pool tarp to work, you have to have water in it to support the tarp. So yes, it does. You can call, I've called multiple ones because once you screw it in, water's going to fall on that tarp, placing pressure on the tarp, forcing the tarp down, which is why when you look at any tarp video or talk to any professional, they tell you that there is some water in the pool when you tarp a pool, and that is a fact.
So, Mr. Chairman, you have a motion that was seconded and is up for voting to be paid within 30 days.
Are there any questions for Mr. Diaz from the board? We do have a motion for Mr. Bass, second by Ms. Haynes. Accept staff's recommendation as presented.
Right, so I want to go ahead and find out what other options, because I can't pay that in 30 days, so it means I'll,
Okay, well, that's not
Be able to pay that
for us
forward.
to direct you or decide. Right now, we have a motion on the board, excuse me, a motion on the table. Any other discussion, any more questions from Mr. Diaz? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we passed the motion. We've found there is a repeat violation. The lien is $5,500 to be paid within 30 days. And as far as how you manage that payment, that's not for us to try to figure out, sir. I'm very sorry, but that's just not in our purview. Which brings us to case number 20-45 on page 5. Raquel Benavides, 3530 Celery Avenue, Sanford, Florida, 32771. Good afternoon. When you all have a seat, could you please tell me your names? And can I get your names, please?
Raquel Benavides and Agustin Lopez.
Do you speak English, both of you, either of you?
Yeah, but she can't hear.
Can't hear. Are you here to help her
Yes,
interpret?
yes, sir.
And I'm sorry, your name again?
Agustin Lopez?
Augustine Lopez?
Yes.
And your relation to this case?
Oh, friend.
Friend, okay. And who do you have next to you?
Raquel.
That's Raquel, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And you both been sworn in? You
Yes.
both- Okay, thank you. Officer Bavaro, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Officer Barr, Summit County Sheriff's Office. Code Enforcement, for the record, I'm submitting a copy of the PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2145 CEB, Raquel Benavides. Property is located at 3530 Celery Avenue. The violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3A, which is rubbish. Initial inspection was on 12/11 of 2020. Notice was issued on 3/6, compliance date of 3/25/21. Follow-up inspections, the most recent being yesterday, revealed that the violations remain on property. These images you're about to see accurately depict the violations on dates in which they were taken. This one on 1/21/21. Another image to the right on 3/26/21, and then another one on 4/15/21 showing the rubbish. Another one on 8/10/21, and then the posting for the hearing for today's tape was done on 8/12/21, and revealed the violations still remained at that time too. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2145 CEB, it's determined that the respondent is the owner of record located at 3530 Celery Avenue in possession and control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A. We request the board issue an order for compliance on September 9th, 2021. In order to comply, they must remove all the rubbish from the property or a fine of $100 a day be imposed. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro?
For John?
Yes, Ms. Patton.
All those pictures look like they were kind of a distance away. So I saw stuff, but I really did not understand what kind of stuff is there.
Yeah, it's a mix of concrete debris, there's tires. But it came in from the city of Sanford, was filing a complaint on the property, and at the time it looked like they were doing a lot of scrapping on the property. They had trucks out, trailers out there, a lot of concrete rubble. It did get a lot better with the first notice, but then after that, we had no contact from the owner. There is extensive law enforcement history related to the property, so we did not make physical contact. There was a couple of phone numbers that we tried to reach out, but we were unsuccessful. So it's a miscellaneous. There's a TV out there. There's a couple tires, some buckets, concrete debris. The most recent image we have, it looks like there was some furniture out there, like a chest of some type out there, a dresser out there, exposed to the elements. You're welcome.
Any other questions for Officer Bavaro? Okay, Mr. Lopez, this is Ms. Benavides' opportunity to speak, or you
Yes.
helping her?
Bueno, más que te va a decir que si quieres, ¿cuánto tiempo quieres para que limpien ahí? Yeah, because on the furniture and everything, she paid somebody to come and remove, and they just took her money, never came back, twice. And so now when I've seen it, I said, I'll do it. How much? I said, I'm going to do it for free, when I seen that paper, But it's going to take me at least a week, because I got to get a pickup truck, to put that, them TVs and whatever little thing is there, most of the other. And, well, basically it's clean up, and cover grass, because even the guy that did that even took her lawnmower, never brought it back. And since she came here and can't see that good, she was supposed to be up at taking her care of today. I said, no, let's go there. I said, so I had to call in and reschedule her. I saw you today.
Okay, I think I heard you say that you're going to take care of it for her. And
Yes.
how long did you say? I missed.
About
1 week?
a week.
Okay.
Because I got the guy that's gonna lend me the truck so I can put, because I ain't got no but a car, But I done got a lawnmower. I went and bought me a lawnmower and used it, which I started day before yesterday.
Any questions for the respondents?
May I ask a question? Does she know who was doing the dumping on her land?
I tried and had it was some kind of cash or say something, and had a number, but I've been trying to get hold
No,
of
no.
him.
Who was putting the trash on her property?
Chase,
Chase was putting
Yeah.
the trash? No,
Yeah.
the trash.
yeah.
The bank doesn't go put trash on people's property.
Well, 'cause he used to come out there and take it, He would drop it there and then would come out there, but then all of a sudden he didn't show back up. Now I tried getting hold of that number, and it's been disconnected. I can't get hold of it.
Okay, so nobody else is going to dump on her after
No,
this,
no,
correct?
No, correct. They just been abusing her, you know. She's old and can't see that good came here, and she came here out there.
Right.
When I go out there, I mean, I just about.
Okay.
Mr. Bass, I think you have a motion.
First, I'd like to say, Ms. Lopez, you're commended for being willing to go out and help her, and
Yeah, because she's gonna be 91 years old, you know.
I can see that.
And
I
I'm afraid of her
know-
going out with that thing, you know.
I know
falling
she-
off house.
I know she
People-
appreciates a good friend like you, and we commend you as well. So, given the time frame, which is within the time frame that Officer Vivero has requested, I say we accept Officer Vivero's recommendation as presented.
Motion by Mr. Bass, second by Ms. Patton, accepts the recommendation as presented with a compliance date of September 9th or $100 per day fine. Any other questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We've given you the time you've asked for, a little bit more, September 9th. It has to be done.
¿No tienen approval?
Está escrito en los papeles que tiene usted, señor. Sir?
Oh,
It's on, yes, that packet has, he's asking about writing it down. Can I talk to him in Spanish?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. En ese paquete que usted tiene, la última página tiene la fecha,
aquí la tiene.
ahí la
Ok,
tiene,
está
pero
bien.
tiene que escribir el número del oficial. Tienes que llamar al señor Bavaro
Cuando cabe.
cuando acabe antes de esa fecha para que no le den multa.
Ok.
Will you give him your number, Officer Bavaro, so he can call you?
Right. No, allá tiene. Ok.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Mira, agárrate.
Brings us to our next case, which would be case number 21-48.
Vente.
21-48 on page 7. Kevin J. Herring and Carrie Bays, 657 Dunn Drive, Altamont Springs, Florida, 32714. Sir, your name, please?
My name is Kevin Herring.
Thank you, and you've been sworn in, I believe. Thank you.
Bless you, bless you.
Officer Banks, whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, Latavia Banks, Code Enforcement Specialist with the Seminole County Sheriff Office. For the record, I am submitting a copy of this presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case number 21-48 CEB for Kevin J. Herring and Carrie A. Bays. The address is 657 Dunn Drive in Altamont Springs, Florida. The violation charged is Seminole County Code Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined as 95.3E, abandoned vehicle. My initial inspection was on 3/18/2021. I sent the notice to the respondent on 3/22/2021 with the compliance date of 4/12/2021. I conducted several follow-up inspections to begin on 4/20/2021 and to conclude on today, 8/26/2021. And the results of my inspection was that the abandoned vehicle remains on the subject's property. This is a photo taken by myself on 3/18/2021 indicating that the vehicle tire is flat. Another photo taken by myself on 4/20/2021. Another photo by myself on 7/6/2021. A photo taken on 8/12/2021. And a photo taken this morning, 8/26/2021, and the vehicle tire remains flat. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case 21-48 CEB, it is determined that the respondents, Kevin J. Herring and Carrie A. Bays, is the owner of record of the property located at 657 Dunn Drive, located in Seminole County as determined by the property appraiser's records, is in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3E. and it is further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of September 9th, 2021. And in order to correct the violation, the respondent must repair and or remove any vehicles which is unusable as a form of transportation due to mechanical insufficiencies and not located within a legally permitted permanent enclosed structure or carport. If the respondent does not comply with this order, a fine of $100 would be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Banks? Seeing none, Mr. Herring, this is your opportunity to speak. You see the recommendation on the board. It's your
I
opportunity.
have no problem with doing that. I brought this to her once or twice before. The vehicle is not mine. It's a friend of mine who's actually incarcerated right here in Seminole County right now for over a year. I have no title. I have no keys. I've tried to have it towed. No one will touch it because they've said that if they touch the vehicle and he gets out of jail, he could press charges for stealing. And I could also be in violation for that lawsuit. I have nothing. I've asked her many a times, what can I do? I can't get rid of it. No tow truck company will touch this vehicle because they're afraid of being sued if he gets out of jail. Because we have no title. He won't give a title. He has no key. I don't have keys to the vehicle. As far as the tire flat, I've pumped it up. It's got a hole in it. I'm not going to spend my money to put a tire on his vehicle that I can't use. I have vehicles I have to maintain myself, but I can't get rid of this vehicle. Believe me, I hate the eyesore. I want it out of my property. Nobody will touch it. I have no idea what to do. I've asked many a times, what can I do? If you have any other ideas that I can do, please tell me. I want the vehicle gone. I can't do anything for it. I have no problem getting rid of it by the 9th if I can find a way to get rid of it. Believe me, I want it out. I want my driveway back so I can park my vehicle.
Unfortunately, this board can't give you any advice on how to come into compliance. My recommendation, though, is that you contact an attorney or the Legal Aid Society and talk to them about your problem. They may be able to offer you solutions. In the meantime, if he gets the tire fixed, can the car stay there, or he has to show you that it's operable?
He explained to me that the vehicle is operable. It was just the tire is flat. He told me that he did have keys. I don't know if the keys went away or whatnot to the vehicle, but if he repairs the tire, then that would put him into compliance.
Right, so that's the option that you have. You got to fix the tire, okay?
I can do that.
That's what you can do by September 9th to come into compliance.
I'll have it fixed by today. That's fine.
Any other questions or a motion by the board?
Motion to accept recommendation of the officer.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Patton, second by Mr. Bates, accept staff's recommendation of compliance date of September 9th or $100 per day fine. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That's what we've done. Thank you. Good luck. Make sure
No good deed goes unpunished, does it?
yeah. Make sure you call Officer Banks as soon as it's done.
I'll get a card for
Officer Banks, good job on your first presentation.
Thank you.
Excellent.
You're welcome.
You look very seasoned here. Our next case is case number 21-49 CEB. You find it on page 7. Angela Butler, Water Street, Sanford.
They have not been sworn in.
Okay. Take your time. Once you get situated, if I can get names of both parties here.
Yes, Angela Butler.
Okay. Mr. Butler, what's your first name?
George.
George Butler, thank you. And you need to stand, you need to raise your right hand to be sworn in, please.
Your other hand.
Papa, your other hand,
Barbara,
Papa.
you need to stand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Officer Bavaro, it's yours.
Thank you, sir. Officer Bavaro, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, Code Enforcement. For the record, I have submitted a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2149 CEB, Angela Butler. Property is located on Water Street in Sanford, Midway, Florida. A violation charge of Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 11, Section 30.182, which is unpermitted use of a vacant lot zoned R1.
Vehicle.
Initial inspection was on 12/30/20. Notice was issued on 3/30/21. Compliance date of 4/15/21. Several re-inspections had followed that, the most recent being as of yesterday by myself, and revealed that the violation remained on the subject property. Images you're about to see accurately depict the violations on the dates in which they were taken. This one on 12/30/2020. We had received a complaint from Addressing, with Seminole County Addressing, that they had located this RV being lived in on a vacant lot. And there's another image on 2/24/21 showing that the RV remains. Consistently, I would say 95, almost every time that I've been out there, there is a generator constantly running. I'm assuming for power and water. We would suspect that they are living in there. However, this violations that I'm charging them with is an unpermitted use of the lot, which means nothing essentially without a primary structure, i.e. a house, can be stored on this property. Next image on 4/15/21. Another image on 8/10/21. And on 8/16/21, where the property was posted by Specialist Banks. So based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2149 CEB, it's determined that the respondent is the owner of record of the property located on Water Street, in possession and control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 11, Section 30.182. Request the board issue an order for compliance on September 9, 2021. In order to do so, they must remove all the vehicles, trailers, campers from the vacant lot. If they fail to do so, a fine of $100 a day be imposed. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro? Seeing none, this is your opportunity to either of you speak to, on behalf of what's the violations.
I'm only there 2 days out of the week. That generator runs to keep my machine in the insulin, okay? I've had a heart attack and a stroke and 9 amputations. So I go to dialysis 3 days out of the week. I'm not there. I've seen him talking with the owner across the street, and the owner told him he was complaining about the noise from the generator, which keeps my insulin and
Life vest. He wears a life
I wear a
vest.
life vest because I had a heart attack and a stroke. So I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm only there 2 days out of a week.
But let me clarify something. The generator may have caused this to get here today, but having a generator is not the violation, correct, Officer Bavaro?
It'd be a separate
I
violation.
was there when he was talking with the guy, and he told,
Okay.
because I was behind the growth, and he was talking with the guy who was building the house, and I overheard the conversation. I'm not trying to pick fights, but like I said, I'm only there 2 days out of the week, and as far as the trailer goes, there's people with trailers all over that neighborhood. Not only trailers, but trucks, boats that are not legally registered. They're building the house, and he was talking with the owner. And I overheard the owner tell him he was worried about the noise from the generator. So I took $1,100 and went and got a new quieter generator. Okay? I spent a lot of money to buy the property. Okay, then after I spent money to buy the property, here they came and told me that it was the previous owner left $18,610
In taxes.
lien on the property. So I took my disability week by week to pay. Okay, so there would be no liens on the property. I got the receipts and stuff. Then he came back and told me that I owed him another $1,000. Well, I'm disabled. I have 9 amputations, a heart attack, and a stroke. What do you want me to do? You know, if I have to, I'll put a tent up, because where am I gonna go? I don't actually, live in the truck, but I am there 2 days out of the week, and I leave that generator running for life support and to keep my insulin, so that I can live whatever life I got left.
Understand?
And I'm a first responder. I work around the corner, okay? I worked there for 29 years, okay? Yeah, we just trying to do the best that we can. Like I said, we report the property, and we trying to, I've been trying to look into programs and stuff where they can help us, because it's just me and him, to help us, because we want to have a house, because, we can't do it no more. We was in the car before we got this, and he, comes first to me. It's my husband.
Where are you on that search through programs? Is there any progress being made?
No, because we have spoke to the deacon, okay, he said it.
The problem is, he was saying about the trailer, but right around the corner, they got trailers, no tag, nothing, sitting on the property. Then down the street, right on the corner, is a trailer and some kind of stand. And that trailer is not even registered. You didn't see that trailer?
Mr. Chair, can I clarify to the respondents what the violation is?
Yes.
So, sir, I understand that this is a vacant lot, correct? There's no structure, there's no primary structure on it. There's no house, there's no shed, it's just vacant land. So in order to use the land as an accessory use, meaning you want to park your boat, you want to park your campers, you want to park, you want to build a shed, put in a pool, you have to have a primary structure first. A primary structure would be a house.
There was a house there.
There was, not anymore.
Okay,
So,
same as the property on the corner, there was a house.
right, if
there.
you want to file a complaint, that's fine, we'll take your
No, I
complaint. But I'm
didn't
just trying to
Yeah,
help
but you
you
made
better
a
understand
statement,
what the
sir.
violation is.
You made a statement about the house had to be there. The property that, right on the corner before you even get to my house, has a trailer, no registration, no tag, and another trailer on it.
And I hear you, and those may be looked into if complaints are filed similar to what happened to you. But we're here today to try to figure out the solution to yours. As far as this board, we can't solve your problems, but
Yeah,
we've got
we
to figure,
understand.
they're going to issue a compliance date today.
Yeah, I understand that, sir, but even if, okay, let me ask you this question. I got a tent. Can I have my tent on the property?
No,
I can't have the tent on the property.
correct, that's an accessory use.
Huh?
So you need to have a primary structure. If you want to use that property for essentially anything, you need to have a primary structure. You need to have a house built. And then
Well, we
you
don't
can
have that kind of-
put a camper, then you can put a
So
boat
what
there.
about the corner?
I'm not going to discuss any other case
You
except
just
the one in
said
front
that
of me.
it couldn't happen.
Let's focus on you and what you need to do.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, I'm not in a position, and like I said, he came, and I heard him talking to the guy. But the guy told him, he said, oh, I was concerned about that noise from the generator. So I took my benefit when and bought a quieter generator. I seen him yesterday when I came in from dialysis. He pulled up in the yard across the street from where our property is. Okay, I was sitting there waiting on the van to pick me up to take me to Dallas.
Right, so in order for him to get in compliance, he needs to do exactly what?
Remove all the camper, remove the trailer, remove the vehicle from the
We're
vacant
gonna stay at.
parcel.
Auntie, that's not the problem. Okay, wait a minute. So you're saying, now it was a house there. It was a structure there. It was torn down. So I can't, right next to me, they got trailers in the back and what do you call it? The container, a tractor trailer container sitting on the ground. Right, my property sits here, the trailer is here, the storage container
Sir.
sitting on the ground.
Just
there.
stop this.
Well, let me ask you, and again, we're not going to get into these other cases. Have you tried to contact legal aid, Seminole County Legal
Yes, I
Aid?
have.
Yes, we have, sir.
Are they working with you on this?
Yeah, well, what's her name?
No, Deacon,
Um,
Deacon Watson's gonna take us to a program.
I know that, but the lady, I'm trying to think of her name, that, okay, she made me an appointment to assist me because I'm disabled. Okay, the last amputation I had was this, and it's not healed yet, so this is why I'm only there.
So they're actively working with you?
Yes, sir.
Legal
Yeah, it's
aid?
just taking time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, say he can't do nothing, and I have to work and take care of him. I have to do both things.
Right,
Okay,
well-
so, we know the deacon,
That's still gonna take time, but what he's saying is, he wants us to move them over. Where am I going?
Well, he's saying
Well, we're
that's how
gonna
it's
get-
going to come into compliance. So, and just hear me for just a moment. And I think everybody here cares, and it's an unfortunate situation that you're in. Well, we're sympathetic to that, but we've got to make a determination on what the compliance date is going to be. That's all we're here to do. And you heard what it takes to come into compliance. I hear you say you need time. How much time do you think you need to work with the legal
I need a
aid?
permanent structure there to park those things there? That's what he said?
Basically, that's how to come into compliance today. Legal aid may have different options for you, maybe, you know, I don't know what they may have. But we've got to determine a date for you to come into compliance, and the recommendation right now is September 9th.
that's not, oh my God. We can't move all this stuff by then.
Well, help us out here.
Oh my God.
But,
How long do you think you need to,
what I'm saying is, so they put, I'm trying to ask a question. They put a utility structure there. Then we're okay.
No.
Huh?
no.
A utility, hold on one second. I'm going to call a witness, Mary Mauschwitz. She's a
Thank
planning
you.
manager for Seminole County. Thank you.
For the record, Mary Moskowitz, Planning and Development Manager. So the property is zoned R1, which is a residential zoning district, and it would need a principal structure, so it would need a house to be on that structure. So you would have to have a house there. We couldn't just drop a power pole there and have it running there. It would need to be a permitted single-family home.
That's to keep that trailer where it's at. One option may be to move it somewhere. There may be other
There is-
options.
This is our home. That's the only thing we got.
Understand.
Yeah, it's our home.
You know, before these people even came, that place was set back there for 5 years. No problem. 5 years. Okay? He came, I heard him talking with the guy who was working on the house. I was sitting right there, he couldn't see me. Okay? He was actually talking with the guy. The guy explained to him, he says, well, what are we gonna do about the noise from the generator? And he was telling the guy this and that, you know, and I was like, you know, it's just something, I don't believe it.
Mr.
You know,
Bass?
and we're on a dead-end street. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a...
Sir.
Unfortunately, this board can't change the rules. They're simply here to...
I'm not asking you to change the rules, but I'm crippled. I can't even really stand up, and you've given me a certain amount of time to move this, do that. All my money has been sunken into that property, paying somebody else's taxes just to become legal.
When did the violation first come?
I'm
to your-
sorry?
When did the violation first come to your attention?
We obtained the complaint on 12/30 of 2020 through addressing, or at around that date. That's when we got out there. And we did send we sent a notice on 4/16/21. We even found a number through through running the tag on the vehicle that was in there. We even called the phone number there, but unfortunately that phone number said that the user was busy. So we did try to contact them.
Yeah, my wife's a nurse.
Yeah, I work,
She's on call almost 24 hours, so
But-
she can't, and she handles hospice patients. You know, people who are ready to die.
Mr. Bass?
Sir, as the chair said, we sympathize with your situation, but the fact of the matter is, we're bound by
I understand
by
that.
what the county says, and how it relates to other properties is not our issue. And
understand that.
you really basically have two options, is to build a house, which can't be done in a short period of time, or move out of there. So you've got to come to grips with one of the two of those.
Okay,
And sir, I'm not here to debate this
I'm
with
not
you.
debating, I'm asking where am I gonna move? Out the street?
That's not our issue.
Okay,
We're
so
a
let me
board.
ask you a question.
Sir, I wasn't entering into discussion. I'm fixing to make a motion here.
Okay, well, I'll just move on
And
the sidewalk.
I'm not asking you to do anything. How you deal with this is up to you.
No problem.
Okay? And we certainly hope that you deal with legal help, and Officer Rivera would be glad to help you in any way he can, but
The
but there,
United
but
States of America, I'm gonna
but
move on the sidewalk, I'll sleep on the sidewalk.
we're not asking you to do that, but we have to move forward with this case.
No problem.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept Officer Rivera's
We're gonna do that
recommendation as he presented it, but extend the date until our next board meeting on September the 23rd, which gives another month.
Second.
I'll do the 10th, and I'll sleep on the sidewalk.
Motion on the table here to accept staff's recommendation. Now we're extending the compliance date to September 23rd, 2021,
How much did he pay me?
or $100 a day fine. Any other discussion? It was seconded by Ms. Hames. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's what we've done, sir. Extended the date to September 23rd. I encourage you to get back on the phone with legal aid, see where they're at, let them know what happened here today. Keep in mind that date, put on your calendar, September 23rd.
Next question.
Yes, sir.
Any problem I sleep in a sleeping bag on the sidewalk?
It's, I guess, your decision, sir, not ours,
That's
but,
what I'll do.
okay. Please, if you get in compliance, contact Officer Bavaro.
I'll move trails and I'll move on the sidewalk.
Brings us to case number
Go tell them next.
21-52 and 21-53 CEB located or found on page 9. That is Theodore Hutley, 1277 Depew Street, Altamont Springs, 32701. Is there anybody here for the respondent, Theodore Hutley? Good afternoon, sir. Your name, please, and have you been sworn in?
Derek Utley. No, I don't think nobody's sworn me in.
You said Derek Hutley?
Yes.
Okay, your relationship?
Got a son.
Oh, thank you. And you have been sworn in?
No.
Okay, if you'd stand up, raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is true?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also heard.
Dorothy Hurd, South Region Code Enforcement Officer for the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. This is case 2152 CEB, and for the record, I'm submitting a copy to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This case is, the respondent is Theodore Hutley, and the property address is 1277 Depew Street in Altamont Springs. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, as defined in 95.3E. Any vehicle included but not limited to any parts thereof which are unusable as a form of transportation. Initial inspection on this property was October of 2020. Notices to respondent March 9, 2021 and April 6, 2021. Compliance date 3/26/21 and 4/23/21. And my several follow-up inspections, with the last one being this morning, and the vehicles remain on the property. These photos were taken by myself on October 27, 2020. This one was December 8, 2020. If you can, there's a better picture of in front of this silver car, there's an older car I guess that's a project for, I believe he said it was his dad's. This photo was taken on January 11, 2021. That's the vehicle. And this one was taken on August 16, 2021. These were taken on the 24th. The silver one, it looked like it's either maybe a low tire or maybe it's got those kind of tires that sit on the ground. I'm not sure what you call them. But the other car is inoperable. The suggested recommendation, based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case, Theodore Utley is the owner of record at 1227 Depew Street in Seminole County in possession of control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3E. I'm asking the board to order the respondents to correct the violation by repairing or removing any vehicle which is unusable as a form of transportation due to mechanical insufficiencies and not located within a legally permitted permanent enclosed structure and/or carport by September 10th, 2021. If the respondent does not comply with this order, a fine of $100 per day be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions on this case for us or heard? Seeing none, let's go ahead and do 53. For the record, case number 21-53 CEB, same address, same respondent. Go ahead.
I'm going to take this off. I don't know where I got it. Dorothy Hurd, South Region Code Enforcement Officer for the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. For the record, I'm submitting a copy of this presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2153 CEB, Theodore Utley at 1277 Depew Street in Altamont Springs, Florida. Violation charge is basically rubbish, useless waste material, or any items no longer fit to be used, including but not limited to household chemicals, trash, paper, cardboard, metal, etc. Initial inspection was December 27, 2020. Notice to the respondents on 3/9/21 and 4/6/21. Compliance date 3/26/21 and 4/23/21. Follow-up inspection, my last one this morning, and the materials remained on the property. These images were taken by myself on October 27, 2021. It's a trailer that has furniture or appliances or things like that. These images were taken by myself on January 11, 2021. These photos were taken by myself on March 4th, 2021. These were taken on April 5th, 2021. And these were taken on August 16th, 2021. These were taken on the 24th of August of 2021. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case, Theodore Utley is the owner of record of the property located at 1277 Depew Street in Seminole County, in possession of control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A. I'm asking the board to order respondents to correct the violation by September 10th of 2021 by removing all the useless waste materials or any items no longer fit to be used, including but not limited to yard trash, cardboard, metal, lumber, bedding, household furnishings, etc., or a fine of $100 per day be imposed. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hurd? Seeing none, Mr. Utley, this is your opportunity to speak to both these violations. I'll call one the vehicle violation and the other rubbish. The recommendation for both of those is come into compliance by September 10th or $100 a day fine for each one. This is your opportunity to speak to the board.
Basically, like I said, it's my father's property. My mom passed away in April. He's got Alzheimer's, so she had dementia. So it's been a full, I don't know if anybody had to deal with that before, but trying to take care of them is, and I told Ms. Hurd the same thing. We just haven't had time to try to address everything. I put stuff out for the county to come pick up, the garbage people, and it sit there for weeks. They say they're gonna pick it up on Friday. They don't ever come. And I call them, and they won't pick it up. So then I got to try to take it to the landfill. So he liked to scrap when he was able to. So the stuff that was on the trailers, that's why I got it on there. We're gonna go ahead and take it out, and I'll get it taken to the landfill, and the other part taken to the scrap place. So we'll get it in compliance. But it's only me and my sister trying to do all of this, and work, and take care of him now. So if you can give me a little bit more time, that would be great. I'll get it in compliance.
Members, how much time would you think it would take?
End of the month, end of September.
Okay. Officer,
That has been there for quite a while. I spoke to Mr. Utley about that, and he has a furniture business, a moving furniture business. So, and he did tell me his dad, suffers with Alzheimer's. So, and he can't drive. So I tend to believe that some of that furniture and stuff comes from the furniture business, because right now the back of his truck has furniture in it. So it's been there since, I think it was last year. Different.
This Mr. Utley can't drive?
No, the father,
Okay.
his father.
Okay.
So, yeah, this has been there, and
Has this been ongoing since before your first notice as well?
yes, this has been since October of 2020. They've had time to get that stuff out of there. They've had, so, and basically it's just pulling the trailer off, getting the stuff off the ground, and behind the house, there's some rubbish back there also that needs to be removed. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Hurd, has there been compliance since you started talking to them and working with them?
Well, I can only say, when I go by, the trailer with furniture and appliances is there. So if maybe in between something is gone and then something else comes back, but when I go by, it's there. Oh, I'm sorry.
Any other questions? If the request being made till the end of September, I'm assuming you would be opposed to that based on the history?
Well, it's on a trailer. He has a truck. He can...
The items that are the problem are right now on a trailer?
Well, the appliances and stuff, most of that's on a trailer. I did see an appliance on the ground yesterday and today. And then in the back, there's some other rubble back there that can be picked up. But he just needs to hook up to that trailer, put that stuff, and pull it off.
If it's already hooked on a trailer, why would you need the extra time? Just so
But I don't have that much time about the one on the trailer, but the automobiles and stuff, trying to get my dad's old car, and, I mean, that's what I'm speaking of. The trailer's not that big of an issue, but it's, trying to get everything in compliance is what I'm saying.
Ms. Hurd, how long has this been going on?
Well, the vehicle's been there for a while, but I noticed I started this case in October of 2020. I'm sorry, these cases, I'm sorry.
Mr. Utley, we're pushing a year that she's been asking you to get this done.
But like I said,
We are encouraging you to get this done. And our encouragement ends with fines on the property if it doesn't get done. Do you understand?
right, yeah.
Thank you. Motion to accept code enforcement officer's recommendation. Second.
Okay, on the first case number, we'll call the car case, case number 21-52 CEB. There's a motion on the floor by Ms. Patton, second by Ms. Hames, to accept staff's recommendation of a compliance date September 10th or a $100 a day fine. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there on case number 21-53 CEB, do we have a motion on that?
Motion to accept Ms. Hurd's recommendations.
Second.
Same motion by Ms. Patton, second by Mr. Bates, accept staff's recommendation of compliance date of September 10th, $400 day fine. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's what we've done, September 10th. I would think you'd be able to take care of that. And again, if that car is running, just call her and show her that it's running, go forward and backward, and you'll be good on that. If not, you'll need to move it. Thank you for coming in today. Brings us to, one moment, please. Case number 21-54, CEB, found on page 10. Roy L. Mack and Horace Mack, 1200 Oak Street, Altamont Springs, 32701. Also heard.
Dorothy Hurd, South Region Code Enforcement Officer for the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. For the record, I'm submitting a copy of this presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2154 CEB, Roy L. Mack and Horace Mack. The property address is 1200 Oak Street. The violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, is defined in 95.3E. Any vehicle included but not limited to the parts thereof, which are unusable as a form of transportation. Initial inspection on this property was April of 2021. Notices to the respondent April 12th and May 5th. Compliance date May 30th and 5/21. And my last, a few inspections, re-inspections, and my last one was this morning, and the vehicle remained on the property, or one of the vehicles. Initially, this was one of the vehicles there, and what happens is the neighbor behind 1200, he works on vehicles. So the two vehicles that are there, they were placed there, according to him, by him. And he had surgery, and it took him a little while to get rid of this one. But the other one that remains there is still there. This image was taken by myself on April 7th, on May 4th. This is the one that's remaining, and there's something wrong with it. He did tell me, but I can't remember what it was. But it doesn't belong to him, but it's somebody else that he works on, and it's still just sitting there. This is when I posted the property on August 16th, and the vehicle was still there. August 24th, and as of this morning, it's still there. The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case, 2154 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Roy Mack and Horace Mack, they are the owners of property located at 1200 Oak Street, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3E. I'm asking the board to order respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of September 10th by repairing or removing any vehicle which is unusable as a form of transportation, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated. Now, I believe Mr. Morgan, he's a neighbor,
Okay.
or in the neighborhood.
Does anybody have any opposition for a neighbor witness to testify today? Okay, sir, you need to be sworn in. Stand up, raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Your name and address, please.
Morgan Voke, 1280 Main Street. I'm just here.
Hang on one moment here. Any questions for us heard by the board? I have one. The name Horace Mack is like ringing a bell, and what, didn't we?
He's had they've had a few cases to come through the code board.
They're all resolved. Was it similar in nature? I just don't
Similar
know.
in nature. I don't believe they're all resolved, but they come periodically.
Right.
I want to say Mr. Mack, one of them has passed away, I believe. Horace passed away, but I never hear from any of them.
Okay, so this isn't a repeat, it's...
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Boak, it's your opportunity.
I just want to give a heads up. Anything you all are able to do about this would be extremely appreciated by everybody, because I thought this is dealing with the house. This structure, which no one would believe it exists in Altamont, literally has no roof trusses, no roof, no nothing. There's trees going out of the roof, and somehow this has never been condemned, never anything about it. There's always cars in the yard. It's crap, and as a result, there's rats galore, and the rats go that way to the neighbors and that way to the neighbors, and everyone suffers because of this one little property. It's clearly been this way for the last at least 20 years. You don't grow trees inside your house, in the last couple of months, but anything that you all could do to try and get some sort of encouragement of compliance, because like I said, everyone around suffers. It's not just an eyesore, but a health hazard as well.
The remains of rubble of a structure, I believe, has already been to code board. The fine is still running. At one time, there was a lady who I believe was the daughter of one of the gentlemen that passed away. She wanted to try to get the county to take it down, but she ran into some issues, and that's been years ago. I haven't heard from her in regards to that property in years. But if I'm not mistaken, there is a lien on the property for the remains of rubble of that structure. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know anything about anything, but doesn't the county have ways to force compliance of if the structure is falling down and a hazard for children, getting smashed by a house and walls to eventually...
Do we know if building's looking at this too?
I believe they have, and the structure, from my understanding, is sound, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been years. I haven't checked with them on that, but it's been years. But I believe the walls were sound. It's just there's no roof, there's no windows, doors, there's grass inside the home, and there's always vehicles from the neighbor at that property, because they move them off of their property so they won't get fined, and they leave them.
All right, we have to get back. Remember, Ms. Hughes, this is the focus that's before us today.
Okay. Okay, so we've heard from the witness. Any other questions for witness, Officer Hurd, or a motion?
Motion to accept Officer Hurd's recommendation.
Second.
Motion to accept the recommendation of compliance by September 10th, or fines of $100 per day be invoked. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's what we've done.
Appreciate it.
Sir, good luck. Mr. Best?
Could we take a moment?
Yes.
Want to take a break?
Just a little short break.
5, 10, 15?
5 minutes.
5-minute break.
Thank you. Gentleman in the back.
We'll go back and go ahead and resume here at 2:45 PM with the next item on the agenda, which is item number 2, case number 21-36 CEB, Victoria Gomez, 1226 Linwood Avenue, Apopka, Florida, 32703. Officer Hill, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Officer Hill, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. I am submitting a copy of my PowerPoint to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2136 CEB, Victoria Gomez, located at 1226 Linwood Avenue in Apopka, Seminole County. Violation charge in Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3F, stagnant pool. My initial inspection was December 11, 2019, with notices to the respondent on January 16, 2020, and March 16, 2020. Compliance dates were January 30, 2020, and March 30, 2020, with follow-up inspections, including yesterday. The results of my inspection is the violation of stagnant pool has been removed from the subject property. These photos are taken from my initial inspection on December 11, 2019. This photo was taken on March 12, 2020. This photo was taken on June 16, 2021. And this photo was taken yesterday. The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case 2136 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Victoria Gomez, is the owner of record located at 1226 Linwood Avenue in Seminole County, in possession or control of the property, and was in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3F. It's further recommended the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent that the violation is repeated after midnight of August 26, 2021, that a fine of $250 a day will be imposed. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hill? Seeing none.
What was in the second to last picture that just had an arrow going down? I didn't understand that picture.
Well, it's kind of, so I'm not on the subject property. I am on the complainant's property next door. So it's a photo taken through the fence. So sometimes the camera kind of focuses on other stuff besides the pool. So it's actually kind of focusing on the leaves instead. It was the photo before Dorothy. And so I'm just pointing down to the stagnant water is what I'm trying to get at.
Mr. Best.
Move we accept Officer Hill's recommendation as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bass, second by Mr. Bates to accept staff's recommendation as presented, which I was trying to write fast on, but I think it's August 25th compliance date or $100 a day fine?
Correct.
Is that right? Okay.
So I'm just asking for an order. So if if it's a repeat, $250.
Thank you.
Starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow,
Yeah.
yes.
So if any non-compliance starting tomorrow would do $250 a day.
Thank you for pointing that out. I missed that, which is fine. Any questions, or is there a motion?
Motion and a second already.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it. Who was?
Oh, we already voted. We're done.
Let's leave.
We're done.
Okay.
Been a long day.
Yeah, the motion was by,
Mike Bass made the motion.
and Ms.
Yes.
Mr. Bates made the second. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next item on the agenda is case number 21-38 CEB, found on page 3, Scott Linville, 2352 Sunnyview Drive, Oviedo, Florida, 32765. Officer Hill.
Officer Hill, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement, East Region. I am submitting a copy of my PowerPoint to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2138 CEB, Scott Linville, located at 2352 Sunnyview Drive in Oviedo, Seminole County. Violation charge in Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3C, rubble of a structure. The initial inspection was conducted on May 6, 2020, with notice to the respondent on March 10, 2021, and May 5, 2021. That was because when the initial complaint came in, it was during COVID while we were tolling, so that's why the notices weren't sent out until the tolling was lifted. The compliance dates were March 28, 2021, and May 19, 2021, with multiple follow-up inspections, including yesterday. The result of my inspection is the violation of the remains or rubble of a structure remain on the property. When the case was initially opened, these images were taken by Officer Drawn at the time on May 6, 2020. These photos were taken by myself on March 4th, 2021. These photos were taken through the window, looking up at the roof on March 4th, 2021. This photo was taken on April 26, 2021. These photos were taken on May 25th, 2021. These photos were taken on August 11th, 2021. This was my posting done on August 11th, 2021. These photos were taken on August 18th, 2021. And this photo was taken yesterday. So the adjusted recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case 2138 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Scott Linville, is the owner of record located at 2352 Sunnyview Drive, located in Seminole County, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3C. It's further recommended the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of September 14, 2021. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must repair, secure, or remove the remains of rubble of a structure. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hill? Mr. Bass?
I have a very elementary question. I'm shocked I haven't thought about this before, but the moment from the date that you open a case to the date that you actually send a notice, are those conversations that go on, verbal conversations, or are they aware of anything going on until there's actually a notice filed? What goes on between those two dates?
So when the case was initially opened, Officer Drawn did find a phone number for the property owner, left a voicemail, never heard from him. When I transferred over in October of last year, I also called him, got his voicemail, left a phone number. The neighbors have not seen him. I've talked to the neighbors because they are maintaining his grass. A neighbor had contacted Duke Energy because there was issues with the electric box falling off the house, so Duke came out, disconnected it, and the neighbor said he moved out and never saw him again.
I guess my question is more general in nature. Is it typically conversation going on between those two dates? And if things don't move along, then you give them a notice, a written notice. Is that a fair assessment?
If we try and find a phone number in our system, if we can't, we'll leave a door hanger and we'll give them a few days to contact us via phone. If not, a lot of times when we leave our door hangers, they come into compliance all on their own. We'll do a reinspection. If they came into compliance, great. We don't open a formal case. If they have not, we do a reinspection, we open up a formal case, and we send them a notice of violation.
The point is that there is ongoing attempts to communicate
Absolutely.
and talk to people before notice actually goes out, which is what I assumed, but I've never asked the question, so thank you.
You're welcome.
It's educating me a little more.
Any other questions? I have one just by the appearance of it. Would you think this might fall under the health, safety, and welfare of the general public?
It would be up to the board's pleasure, but I will tell you this property is homesteaded, so that is why it's not on the building department's abatement list.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, if you're not familiar with that, that's where we can tag a property with that label and then get some extra attention. Sometimes it's doable or worthy of. And you only do that if it's non-homesteaded?
Correct.
Okay. So the recommendation is compliance by September 14th or $100 per day.
Motion to accept the recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Patton, second by Mr. Bates to accept staff's recommendation with a compliance date of September 14th, 2021, or $100 per day fine. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next case on the next page, 21-39, Richard Kondracki, trustee, 1660 Sipes Avenue, Sanford, 32771. Officer Bavaro, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Officer Bravaro, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. For the record, I'll be submitting a copy of the PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This case number is 2139 CEB. The respondent is Richard G. Kondracki, trustee. Property is located at 1660 Sipes Avenue. Violation charge of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3B, which is uncultivated vegetation. On 7/9/20, we had inspected the property and found the violation, issued a notice on 3/4/21, compliance date of 3/22/21. Several follow-up inspections occurred, most recently being yesterday, revealed that the violation still remained. Images you're about to see accurately depict the violations on the dates in which they were taken, this one on 7/9/20. Another image on 8/6/20. On 3/26/21, on 8/10/21, and then the property is posted for the notice of hearing. These images were taken by Specialist Banks on 8/12/21. Now, I did go by yesterday, as I stated, and did a reinspection. I've been in communication with Mr. Kondracki regarding this property and so many others. Mark, his son, is the general person that we communicate with. He and his family were out there a couple days prior to that, got 95% of it done. The only remaining stuff is some stuff in the back. So I spoke to him this morning, and he said that he understood he was going to attend, but he had concurred with my recommendation, so he said there was really no point of him coming on down. He's going to get it done sooner than that. So, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case 2139 CEB, is determined that the respondent, Richard G. Kondracki, trustee, is the owner of record at the property located at 1660 Sipes Ave, in possession and control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, is defined in 95.3B, and requests and issue an order for compliance on September 9, 2021. In order to comply, they must remove all the uncultivated vegetation over 8 inches in height, or a fine of $50 a day be imposed. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro? How about all the cars that are parked there, unless it's an auto sales place?
So we're still working with the county and our legal team regarding some new changes in the home-based business law, the Senate bill. Today, it's just for the vegetation.
So those are cars for sale?
Mr. Mark Kondracki owns a property right directly across the street.
Okay.
And he does a auto salvage yard at that location.
Got it. Okay, so the vegetation, which appears is almost going to be done, the recommendation is by September 9th or $50 a day fine. That's what's on the table.
Motion to approve Officer Bavaro's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Patton, second by Mr. Bates to approve staff's recommendation of a compliance date of September 9th or $50 per day fine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That concludes that case. Next case is 21-43 CEB, found on the same page. Linda Westfall, Michael Westfall, and Tina Marie Westfall, 921 Penfield Cove, Sanford 32773. Officer Bavaro.
Thank you. Officer Bavaro, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. For the record, I'll be submitting a copy of the PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2143 CEB, Linda Westfall, Michael Westfall, and Tina Marie Westfall. The property is located at 921 Penfield Code. The violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, is defined in 95.3A, which is rubbish. Initial inspection on 7/20/20. Notice was issued on 3/6/21. Compliance date of 3/25/21. Most recent inspection was yesterday. Revealed that the violation remained on the property. Images you're about to see accurately depict the violations on the dates in which they were taken. This case all got started after a garage sale that the respondents had. They had left the majority of the items for sale outside for an extended period of time. At that time, we deemed it to be a outside storage violation because the items were usable. That case was transferred over to the county for enforcement. After such time elapsed that the elements had destroyed most of the personal property, that's when we took back over the case and charged them with rubbish. So this one on 7/22/21. There's appliances outside, there's bricks, there's a pickup truck that's full of debris. You can't really access the door safely. It's a very long driveway, and there's so many vehicles there that you can't really get to the front, so I apologize for these being a distance away. On 4/15 of 21, on 8/10 of 21, and then these images were taken by Specialist Banks on 8/12 of 21 at the notice of posting for the hearing today. So based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2143 CEB, it's determined that respondent Linda Westfall, Michael Westfall, and Tina Marie Westfall are the owners of record at the property located at 921 Penfield Cove, in possession and control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A. We request the board issue an order for compliance on September 9, 2021. In order to do so, they must remove all the rubbish from the property. We have reached out to the Westfalls several times via phone. We had gotten a report of another violation, which we had sent over to mosquito control. They had no success. They don't answer the door. They don't return any phone calls. I found emails. I've had zero contact with them through those means. So I have not spoken to the respondents at all. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro? The recommendation is compliance by September 9th or $100 per day fine, or the pleasure of the board.
Move we accept Officer Bavaro's recommendation as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bass, second by Ms. Hames, to accept staff's recommendation of September 9th as a compliance date or $100 per day fine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next case, same respondents, case number 21-44 CEB, same address, Officer Bavaro.
Officer Bavaro, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. For the record, I have submitted a copy of the PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2144 CEB. Linda Westfall, Michael Westfall, and Tina Marie Westfall. The property is located at 921 Penfield Cove. Violation charge of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4. It's found in 95.3E, which is abandoned vehicles. Initial inspection was done on 7/20 of 20. Notice was issued 3/6 of 21. Compliance dated 3/25 21. Most recent inspection being today or yesterday, where it revealed that the violation remains. Images you're about to see accurately depict the violations on the date to which they were taken. This one, as you can see, the blue Nissan has a flat rear tire. Again, the blue Nissan is in the same condition. There's several vehicles there that appeared to have not moved, but more specifically, this vehicle is the one being charged. Again, on 4/15/21, same issue on 8/10/21, and then again on 8/12 of 21. So based on the testimony and evidence presented in case 2144 CEB, it's determined the respondent, Linda Westfall, Michael Westfall, and Tina Marie Westfall, are the owners of record of the property located at 921 Penfield Cove, in possession and control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3E. Request the board issue an order for compliance on September 9th of 2021. In order to do so, they must remove all the abandoned vehicle violations on the property. If they fail to do so, a fine of $100 a day be imposed. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro? Seeing none, recommendation, same property, same respondent. This is abandoned vehicles. Recommendation, compliance by September 9th or $100 per day fine.
Move to accept Officer Bavaro's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Bates,
Second.
second by Ms. Patton, to accept staff's recommendation as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carries. Next case, we have two cases. Case number 21-46 CEB, Ollie L. Russell, 807 Cherokee Circle, Sanford, Florida, 32773. And case number 21-47 CEB, same respondent, same address. Officer Bavaro, if you want to do those.
Absolutely. Officer Bavaro, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. For the record, I have submitted a copy of the PowerPoint presentations to the clerk as Exhibit 1s. This is case 2146 CEB. The properties are Ollie L. Russell. The property is located at 807 Cherokee Circle. Violation charges Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, is defined in 95.3A, which is rubbish. Initial inspection on 5/19/20. A notice was issued 3/6/21, and then a complaint dated 3/25/21. Several re-inspections, this most recent being yesterday, revealed that the violations remain on the property. Now, I did make contact in early investigation with a female who resided in the property. She was in the process of leaving the state, so she was just a tenant and she was leaving, so I asked her, is she going to correct these? She said it wasn't her problem, essentially. Up until recently, myself and Specialist Banks were posting the property with the notice of hearing for today's date. We encountered a male when we approached and were preparing the presentations. He approached us and asked if there was anything, and I said, well, give me 1 minute. We're going to post this notice, and then we'll explain this to you. And he said, well, I have to go to work, bye. So he left. We've went through some history checks. We've called, left voicemails with Mr. Russell on several occasions and never obtained any phone calls back. So I've had zero communication with the property owner. So this image is taken on 1/22/21. Behind the fence and in the front yard, there's rubbish piles kind of scattered over. 3/26/2021. There's some tree debris there, some logs, plastic bag with debris in it. 4/15/21. Tires, gas cans, etc. on 8/10/21. And then the most recent on 8/12/21, showing the debris and then posting for the notice of hearing on today's date. Here's another debris with some tire debris and stuff there. So based on the testimony and evidence presented in case 2146, CEB has determined that the respondent, Ollie L. Russell, is the owner of the property located at 807 Cherokee Circle, in possession and control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3A. Request the board issue an order for compliance on September 9th of 2021. In order to do so, they must remove all the rubbish from the property. If they fail to do so, a fine of $100 a day be imposed. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro? Recommendation he has presented is compliance by September 9th or $100 per day fine.
Motion to accept recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Patton, second by Mr. Bates to accept staff's recommendation, issuing a compliance date of September 9th or $100 per day fine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next case, which will be 21-47 CEB, same respondent, same address.
Thank you. Officer Bavaro, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. For the record, I have submitted a copy of the PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case number 2147 CEB. Respondent's Ollie L. Russell. Property is located at 807 Cherokee Circle, and the violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3B, which is all uncultivated vegetation. Initial inspection was on 5/19/20. Notice was issued 3/6/21. Compliance date of 3/25/21. Several re-inspections, including yesterday, revealed that the violation remained on the property. Images you're about to see accurately depict the violations on the dates in which they were taken. This one on 1/21/21. I'm sorry, 1/22/21. This again on 3/26/21. Looks like they had attempted and failed to do so on 4/15/21. 8/10/21. And then the notice of posting for the hearing for today's date done by Specialist Banks taken on 8/12/21. And then another one on 8/12/21. So based on the testimony and evidence presented in 2147 CEB, it's determined the respondent, Ollie L. Russell, is the owner of record located at 807 Cherokee Circle, in possession and control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, it's defined in 95.3B. Request the board issue an order for compliance by September 9th, 2021. In order to do so, they must remove all the uncultivated vegetation, or a fine of $50 a day be imposed. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro? Recommendation he's presented is compliance by September 9th or $50 per day fine.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Patton, second by Mr. Bates, accept staff's recommendation as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it concludes that. Next case is on page 8, 21-50 CEB, Llewellyn and Mary Tuttle, 151 Pusomas Drive, Altamont Springs, 32701. Officer, in these, there are two cases here, so we'll hear them one after the other. The next case is 21-51 CEB, same respondent, same address. Officer Hurd.
Dorothy Hurd, South Region Code Enforcement Officer for the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. For the record, I'm submitting a copy of this presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2150 CEB, Llewellyn G. Tuttle and Mary Tuttle. Violation address is 151 Plymouth Drive in Seminole County. Violation charge, any vehicle including but not limited to any parts thereof, which are unusable as a form of transportation. Initial inspection on this property was March 4, 2021. 3/9/21 and 4/7/21, I issued no violations. Compliance date of 3/26 and 4/23/21. Follow-up inspections, my last one was this morning. I actually got a chance to talk to Mr. Tuttle. The vehicle remained on the property. He said he didn't know there was a hearing. He was totally surprised. I asked him about the vehicle. He couldn't move it. He said, well, I don't have any keys. I said, okay, so when can you get the keys? And I think I made an appointment for Monday at 9. He's supposed to go wherever the keys are and bring them back and move the vehicle for me. So that vehicle has sat there for years. I seriously doubt that it runs. But this image was taken by myself on March 4, 2021, April 26, 2021, August 24, 2021. And like I said, I was there this morning. I finally got a chance to talk to him. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case, Llewellyn G. Tuttle and Mary Tuttle, they are the owners of the property at 151 Plymouth Drive in Seminole County, in possession of control of the property in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3E. I'm asking the board to order responding to the corrective violation before September 10th by repairing or removing any vehicle which is unusual as a form of transportation, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
I just want to add for the record, because he made a comment that he had no idea that there is an affidavit of mailing and the certified return receipt has been signed for, and it was sent to the address listed on the property appraiser site, so there's been no violation of due process.
Seems to me Tuttle's, your name sounds familiar also.
Yes, he's been there before.
Yeah.
He's been there before.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll handle this one and get into the next one. Recommendations by September 5th, compliance, or September 10th, compliance, or $100 a day fine.
Motion to accept recommendation.
Motion by Ms. Patton, second by Mr. Bates. Such recommendation is presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, Officer Hurd, the next case with the same respondent and address, 21-51 CEB.
Dorothy Hurd, South Region Code Enforcement Officer for the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. This is case 2151 CEB, Llewellyn G. Tuttle and Mary Tuttle. The violation address is 151 Plymouth Drive in Seminole County. The violation charge, Seminole County Code, Section 95, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3A, useless or waste material, basically rubbish. Initial inspection on this property was March 4, 2021. March 9 and 4/7, I sent notices to the respondent with compliance date of 3/26 and 4/23. Follow-up inspection, my last inspection, as I said, was this morning, and the material remained on the property. These photos were taken by myself on March 4, 2021. This area here is right up as you're walking up to the door. There's a blocked off area, and he's got, I don't know what all that stuff is that's piled up in there. These photos were taken on April 26, 2021, August 24, 2021. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case, Llewellyn Tuttle and Mary Tuttle, they're the owners of record at the property 151 Plymouth in Seminole County, in possession of control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95. Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3A. I'm asking the board in order respondent to correct the violation before September 10, 2021 by removing any materials no longer fit to be used, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hurd? With the recommendation being compliance by September 10th or $100 per day fine.
Move the officer's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bates, second by Ms. Patton, accept the staff's recommendation of a compliance date of September 10th or $100 per day fine. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next case can be found on page 10. Case number 21-55 CEB, Farzad M. Rod, 117 Waverly Drive, Fern Park, 32730. Officer Hurd.
Dorothy Hurd, South Region Code Enforcement Officer for the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. For the record, I'm submitting a copy of this presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2155 CEB Farzad M. Rod. The property address is 117 Waverly Drive in Seminole County. The violation charged any vehicle but not limited to any parts thereof, which are unusable as a form of transportation. This is a recurring violation. On this initial inspection, this time was April 6, 2021. Notices to the respondent April 7th and May 5th. Compliance date April 23rd and May 21st. Several follow-up inspections. My last one was this morning, and the inoperable vehicle remained on the property. Now, Mr. Rad was here, and I had been calling him and leaving him a couple of messages asking him, can I meet you out there? Let me see, if the vehicle runs or whatever. He said, well, I never got anything, so I went out to my truck to get my phone to show him. I even called him this morning when I was on my way there so that I could meet him there because his van was there. He didn't answer. I showed him on my phone, and it showed up on his phone that I did call him, but he just didn't answer. So I told him what I was asking for, and I told him I would meet him out there Monday if he's ready. But I gave him, I said until September 10th. That's when my compliance date. But he periodically has inoperable vehicles there for whatever reason. I get a lot of complaints on his property. These images were taken on April 19, 2011. This is just going to show like a history of inoperable vehicles. April 19th, these were taken, one by Justin Westmoreland. He was a previous code enforcement officer on July 25th, 2013, by myself on March 9, 2016, April 6, 2021, May 24, 2021. It's the white box truck. And he did tell me, he said someone comes along and vandalizes his truck. They let the air out. So it'll just show you. These were taken on 8/18, the front driver's side, and when I went on the 24th, the tire was up, but I've never seen that vehicle move. So I asked him if he could move it for me, that's fine, but I wanted to ask for an order so that if something happens again like this, the fine would start automatically, which he wasn't happy, but he's going to be okay. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case, Farzad M. Rad, he's the owner of the property at 117 Waverly Drive, in possession of control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3E. I'm asking the board to order the respondent to correct the violation on or before September 10th by repairing and/or removing any vehicle which is unusable as a form of transportation, and a fine of $100 per day be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions? Also heard.
I have one. The first date you showed was in 2011, so does that mean he periodically comes into compliance? And
Yes, he does. I get
more cars, okay.
He gets rid of one and then brings something else. It's just an ongoing problem with Mr. Rad. Yeah.
Mine that finds a recommendation.
Make a motion where we accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, motion by Ms. Hames, second by Mr. Bates. It says staff's recommendation of September 10th compliance date or $100 per day fine. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Brings us to lien requests, starting on page 11. And case number 2103 CEB, Evelyn Barfield and Willie and Joyce Randall, 2211 Broadway, Sanford 32771. And we'll take that one, and then they have another one following that. Well, yes. So, Officer Bavaro.
Yep. Officer Bavaro, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. This case was originally heard by the Code Enforcement Board on April 22nd, 2021, and an order was issued giving the respondents until May 6, 2021. An affidavit of noncompliance was issued by the Code Enforcement Officer after inspection on May 7, 2021, based on the findings of facts, conclusion, of law, and order issued on April 22nd, 2021. We're requesting the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for a lien in the amount of $11,200 for 112 days of noncompliance from May 7, 2021 through and including August 26, 2021 at $100 per day. And the fine shall continue to accrue every day the violation continues or is repeated after August 26, 2021. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro? Recommendation is to impose a lien in the amount of $11,200 for 112 days of noncompliance.
Has there been any progress since the last time we
No. If anything, I received another complaint last week from the neighbor across the street, and I informed her how the process works and what was going on today. It may have been Monday I talked to her. It remains in the same condition. I don't really see her much. Every once in a while she'll be out in the trash, separating it or doing whatever she does to it. But like I said before, we offered her assistance. We had volunteers go out. She ultimately kicked all the volunteers out of her property. So we've done, a lot, and unfortunately, still nothing.
Motion to accept recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Patterson, second by Mr. Bates, to accept staff's recommendation of imposing a lien in the amount of $11,200. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next case is 21-04 CEB. Same respondent, same address. Officer Bavaro.
Officer Bavaro, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. This case was originally heard by the Code Enforcement Board on April 22nd, 2021, and an order was issued giving the respondents a compliance date of May 6, 2021. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by myself on May 7, 2021, based on the findings of facts, conclusions of law and order issued on April 22nd, 2021. The Code Enforcement Board issued an order imposing a lien in the amount of $5,600 for 112 days of noncompliance from May 7, 2021 through and including August 26, 2021. And a fine accrues at $50 a day until the violation, as the violation continues or is repeated after August 26, 2021. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro? Same respondent, same address, different charge. The recommendation is imposing a lien in the amount of $5,600 for 112 days of noncompliance.
Move we impose a lien as recommended by Officer Bavaro.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bass, second by Ms. Hames, to follow staff's recommendation imposing a lien of $5,600. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And brings us to the case on page 13, case number 20-67 CEB, John W. and Joanne McDevitt, 960 St. Croix Avenue, Apopka 32703. Officer Hill.
Officer Hill, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. This is case 2067 CEB, John W. and Joanne K. McDevitt, located at 960 St. Croix Avenue in Apopka. The Seminole County Code violation is Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3C, which was a rubble of a structure. This case was originally heard by the Code Enforcement Board on April 22nd, 2021, and an order was issued giving the respondents a compliance date of June 24th, 2021. An affidavit of noncompliance was issued by myself after reinspection on June 25th, 2021. An affidavit of compliance was filed by myself after reinspection on August 23rd, 2021. Based on the findings of fact, conclusions of law and order issued on April 22nd, 2021, the Code Enforcement Board issued an order. I'm asking to reduce the lien to administrative costs totaling $450.80 and require these costs to be paid within 30 days or the fine will revert to the original amount of $5,800 and constitute a lien on the property. The son of the property owner, Jameson, he saw my posting that I did on August 12th, and he called me and said I was unaware of this violation. My mom did not tell me about this. So he and his brother over the weekend did take down the porch. It was a roof that had collapsed on the porch. They took down the roof, they took down the walls. So it is now in compliance, and that is why I'm asking for the reduction to administrative costs.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hill?
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Motion to accept such recommendation as presented, second by Ms. Patterson, which... Ms. Patton. I'm sorry. Long day. Which is reducing it, the fine to admin costs of $450.80 to be paid within 30 days, or it reverts back to the original amount of $5,800. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, concludes that one. There's cases that were not heard for different reasons, mostly because of compliance. Anybody have any old business or new business?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Based on our discussions earlier about the materials. Everything we were given in the earlier meeting, we can take that with us, right? Right, just leave the minutes here, or the agenda, right? Okay, thank you.
And is motion to adjourn?
Confirmation of your approval of the minutes,
Oh, I didn't see that on here. All right, I missed, oh,
item 10.
yep. Yeah, it's there. Approval of the minute. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of July 22nd, 2021?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bates, second by Ms. Hames. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Next meeting date, September 23rd, 2021. If we don't see any issues on the surface with that, if you come up with any issue, just let the clerk know. Any other business that we need to discuss? Anybody has? Motion to adjourn. Mr. Bass makes a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Ms. Ames. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Wow, big day.